3, 2, 1, go. So here's a quick exercise you can do in Procreate that will help you with anatomy. So in Procreate, you can draw with symmetry, and you just go to the canvas. So you go to the little wrench, the canvas, drawing assist. And then when you edit drawing guide, you can just go to symmetry and you'll see a line straight down through your canvas. Once you hit done, you'll see the straight line. And in your layer, you'll see that it'll say assisted. If I add a new layer, it's not assisted, so it won't be symmetrical. I'll delete that and go back to my layer 5, which does say assisted, and it will be symmetrical. If you want to make a new layer and then make it symmetrical, just tap on the layer and hit drawing assist, and then it becomes a symmetrical layer. Now, anatomy is a great thing to practice and have a decent understanding of, because anything that you draw has a proper anatomy. And if you want to make things exciting and make drawings more interesting, then you can build off of that proper anatomy. I'm not going to go too deep into anatomical anatomy. We're just going to do character design anatomy that I would do if I was making any sort of humanoid character. Okay, so I'm using Disney Sketch Light for my Disney brushes. You can use any brush that you like. And let's start with the head. So for the head, I'm just going to do a circle or an oval, something like this. For the neck, I'm just going to make a line that attaches like that. For the body, I'm just going to do a rectangle, maybe a little bit wider than the head. It can taper a little bit off in the bottom, but it doesn't have to. So something like that. So now we have the head, neck, torso. And for the hips, we'll go a straight line down and then we'll kind of curve into the middle. Now for the legs, we want to just kind of come off the center. So it's almost like we're coming straight down and then a little bit of a curve back in. Same thing on the outside. We'll come out and then a little bit of a curve back in. And you don't even really need to make the curve. If you're doing a character, sometimes you can just make the legs like cylinders. I do a sphere or a little ellipse for the knees. Let's move up a little bit. And for the calf muscles or the lower part of the legs, usually this part I'll go out a little bit further on the outside. This one will be a little bit straight, so I'll just go straight for now, because you can always add a little calf in if you want to. So we'll go like this. So it's kind of like a triangle there. We can add a little calf on this side. And now here, I'm going to do a triangle like this for the foot. And then for the bottom of the feet, I'm just going to kind of come off and do another sort of triangle. It's actually almost like a star. I don't know what shape that is, but it's kind of like this. So it's not obviously real anatomy, but it's just sort of design-wise. So for the shoulders, I'm just going to come off of this line and just make like a nice box, kind of a rounded box here for the shoulders. For the middle part of the arm, I'm actually going to start off from the body and just go straight here. So we're going straight here, and we're just going to do kind of a regular cylinder like that. So once we get to the bottom, we can kind of do a triangle to kind of close that part off. Now for the lower part of the arms, this part I'm going to go straight, more straight. And this part I'm going to do an angle like this. You can always add more of this arm if you need or if you want. And now for the hands, wherever I want the hands to be, I make the square of the palm. So let's say I want the hand like this. I make the square of the palm there. Arms are kind of a bit big, but that's okay. You can make that small really easily by just using the selection tool and freehand. And you can just draw around whatever the part is that you want to shrink. And you can just shrink it. But it only shrinks one side, so never mind. So now that we have the square for the hand, usually with our hands we have this section here. So I just make can make a nice circle there for wherever you want the thumb to be. And then for the thumb, I do an arch like this, and then I do another arch coming off like that, and then you have the inside like that. Now for the fingers, I don't usually like them being close together, so just think of it this way. So just make a long rectangle for one, a thicker rectangle for the middle ones that are a little bit higher, and then a shorter rectangle coming off. And notice that they're kind of going in different directions. Obviously my hands are really big, but that's why you do sketches, because you would eventually, you know, make them to frame so they're not so huge. And you can make the little lines there or whatever. But generally that's how I make my my hands. Now for the eyes and stuff like that, this, of course, you could flesh out the face however you want it to be. If you want it to be more masculine or more feminine, you could do that. But I usually do a line for the eyes. So maybe the eyes are there. You can do a triangle for the nose, however you want the nose. Maybe the mouth is here. You can do like a shape for the mouth, something like that. And obviously, since we're doing symmetry, if you want like a hairstyle that kind of goes with it, you could kind of do something like this. So this is important. This is important with the chest. I see this a lot when people draw characters and things like that, and they do a character, but they don't have the biceps like kind of going like into the side back of the chest. So sometimes there'll be weird spaces and things like that. So you have to kind of be careful with the chest, because it kind of like the shoulder kind of goes over, and the bicep part of the arm actually tucks underneath the side of your pec, the pec muscles. So something like that. And then for this, I might just do something really simple. You can do the stomach area. Maybe he has like shorts on or something. You would do something like that. And you can also add a little bit of a back as well if you want. And you can add some traps too. And you can straighten these out. It'll still look good because this still looks like the shape of the neck. And you can add a little something back there as well. So obviously the proportions are off. I actually haven't drawn a human in a long time, but that's just a basic rundown of how I kind of block out my, you know, my humans. Let's see if I can do the arms a little bit more to scale. Since I did such a terrible job, I'll make the biceps a little shorter too. So something like that. Just come to a point, and then maybe we'll make, even if you do the hands closed, but if I do the hand closed, I'll probably put the square a little bit like along this edge. It really all depends on the so I'll do a square there, maybe I'll do a square here, do that second, 2 squares together, and then a smaller one here. But notice how the fingers are all kind of like going into the center. And let's try to do a better hand here. So we'll do maybe a more delicate hand. So we'll do something like this. We'll make our little thumb there. So we want to do, so see the circle here? So you want to come off that, do a little curve, and then another curve like this. So then you have your middle piece, and then you have the square part of the hands, and we'll do 1, do 2, and we'll do 3. So something like this. So it's a little bit better. But obviously when I grew up, I did a lot of like comic book characters and things like that. So that sort of influenced. Obviously I did a lot of life drawing and a lot of anatomy, but all my stuff is like very, if I'm doing a character like this, he's going to look like a superhero. So, you know, it is what it is. So let's try to do a more feminine character. Okay, so I'm going to hide this one. I'll bring a new layer. I'll tap it, and I'll just do drawing assist. Okay, so I'm just going to make everything more delicate. It may be a little bit smaller. And the best thing about it is you can use your body as just like an outline for either the male or the female. And then you can adjust whatever proportions that you want for the body. So maybe we'll try something like that as well. So for the head, we'll start out with a very slight head. We have the neck. We have body here, a little bit of a longer torso. And for the hips, maybe I'll blow them out a little bit more. Then we'll come down to the middle. And so we have the legs here. So maybe we'll just do them more round, a little more round on the leg. We'll do these kind of straight still. So then we'll add this for the knee. And this can be pretty much straight, the bottom part, and we'll give her a little more calf here. I should make the whole thing smaller. And then we do our little triangle for the bottom, and then kind of like that for the feet. Small shoulders. Do smaller arms, really thin. They're a little low. Although maybe the arms, maybe that's okay. Kind of thin, and then square that off, and then we'll do another triangle here. We'll try to make it a little more delicate than the other one. And maybe we'll do something a little different with the palm. So this is the palm. So this is the other piece. So we'll try to make the fingers a little bit thinner. And then we'll try to, so we have 1, 2, and maybe like that. So now we have to, we can maybe do like a more traditional like hourglass type thing. We can come up a little bit and then do the back. Super thin waist apparently. Let's do like something a little more interesting. So you can do something a little more wide. Do the neck going in. So maybe we want to something a little more hourglassy. But you see, really, I just oh, actually the arms do look a bit, they look a bit crazy, and that's because the body, they should be about here. So the back, just make a triangle for the back, really, and then make the shoulders there. Obviously for the chest, we can just do something like that. Obviously she's going to be a superhero. Maybe she has a bit bigger legs. And then you can always turn symmetry off too. You can turn symmetry off. Just tap it. I don't know why I just did a brain fart there. Turn off drawing assist. And then, like, let's say you wanted to do something like this. And then this side, you maybe just have an ear with like a little bit of hair. Something like that. And then maybe you want lips, things like that. So, I mean, that's the basic idea. And really, you can go back and forth with any of these bodies, and you can kind of just shape them, just use shapes. The same thing I do with 3D. I try to use simple shapes, apparently. I try to keep everything simple, and I use a lot of triangles. Actually, when I'm drawing, I noticed when I'm doing 3D, I use a lot of spheres, but when I'm drawing, I use a lot of triangles. So hopefully you kind of picked up on how I'm designing different things. And design is the key word, because obviously these aren't really super anatomical. I don't really find that too interesting, doing things very, very anatomically. But then again, I've spent years drawing. So if you want to get into the more anatomical and make things perfect, definitely practice that. Definitely look at books and do life drawing because it will be helpful. But also I wanted to give anyone who doesn't want to do that just a blueprint of how to sort of break down a human figure. And with this, you can kind of, you can just sort of understand the forms. And then once you understand the forms, you can sort of pose and different things like that. You know, if I was going to do her arms up, I would maybe do a line to kind of give me some guidance. And then I would make the same thing. I would make that part of the arm. The elbow, I'd go straight. And this, maybe I'd do a little something like that. And it gets more complicated, you know, as you go. But that's the fun part. You know, human bodies are very, very difficult. So it's always good to start somewhere. So hopefully that was useful. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. And I can't wait to see what you draw. Keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video. I'm going to eat and draw, folks. So the audio is going to be gone. Undo. Always make the arms so big. I'm actually not sure why. I forgot. No. Can I get a break, please? So something like this. I might make the pants a little bit baggier, actually. That would be fun to make, like, something like that. So I think I'm going to do the character kind of like this. I'm going to do a cleaner one for the I'll use Disney pencil. Why is that? I feel like this should be here. I do tend to make the arms a little low, I'm noticing. I wanted to make sure I did this because since I want it to be anatomy, I don't want it to be too clothed. I'm doing too much, I know. So yeah, that's the only thing I should have done was move the arms are a little bit off. I don't know why I always do that, but that's something that I have to work on. Even that looks a little better. What are we doing? So I'll do the figure pretty much like this. Let's hide the one below so we can kind of see what we're doing. Yeah, it's not bad. A little out of proportion, but that's the beauty of practice. I'm going to show you some simple, extremely basic tricks to block out a humanoid, human-like, human-esque, human-ish body in 3D. Welcome to 3D Stylized Anatomy 101 with me, Drug-Free Dave, and in this beginner course, I'm going to walk you through how to make a framework for any type of humanoid character that you want to make. Now mine turned into a weird killer clown, but it's the skeleton underneath that we're going to be working on, and you can turn yours into anything. Now anatomy is difficult.
That is one big pile of shut your mouth.
And there's nothing that's going to make up for years and years of study drawing the human body. But ain't nobody got time for that. You'll be able to save this blocked out figure and use it as a skeleton for characters any shape or size. Thinking about the body as simple shapes will make it much less complex and much less stressful. Again, this is a beginner course, so as long as you have a basic understanding of Nomad, you'll be just fine. In the next video, we'll talk about the type of projects you can make once you complete this course. And then we'll jump right into it. Once again, I'm Drug-Free Dave. Keep drawing, keep sculpting, and I'll see you all on Skillshare.